Hello, my name is Gary Scudder. I'm a professor here in the core division. Today I'm ably assisted by the excellent Cindy Brandenburg, who is now filming her third core talk and will probably be leaving us for Hollywood in no time at all. Today I want to talk about a film that I use in Core 120. I have to admit that I came to using film in class very late. And for a long time I was very suspicious of using film in class. I mean, I would use little snippets. I'd use 3 or 4 minutes. I think literally the first time I ever used a film in class was, when I lived in Atlanta, and I used part of Henry V's speech, the St. Christmas Day speech, in a class on Western civilization, and we were talking about the 100 Years' War or something, so that's a long time ago. But I now use it more and more, partially because it's a lot easier to use it because we just embed links in PowerPoints to YouTube, and it's much more painless. But the notion of actually showing an entire film is something that I've come a long way with, and I'm kind of still suspicious of it. I think professors can fall in this trap and show way too much film in class, even though I tend to use a lot of technology. So I never show the students an entire film without assigning at least a 5-page paper. So, okay, you're going to watch this, but you're now going to turn this into a 5-page paper, which you're going to be due next week, and you're going to analyze it. You're not going to tell me what happened. You're going to analyze it using concepts that we've learned in the class. Now, and I've talked before in other core talks about films I've used. For instance, I did a core talk talking about my use of Memento in Core 110, which works brilliantly. Now I want to talk very briefly about a film that I use in Core 120, Concepts of Community. And that is the utterly brilliant New Zealand film Once Were Warriors. It's a 1994 film directed by the, naturally enough, New Zealand director Lee Tamahori. It is an extraordinary film that swept the New Zealand Academy Awards. The woman who plays the mother in the story should have literally retired the Academy Award. It's one of the great performances of all time. It's a film about a family of Maoris who are living in Auckland, in the big city, and their world is collapsing around them. And you have Beth, the mother, and her husband Jake, and Jake is one of the scariest characters you'll ever meet in a film. And I always tell the students what's most scary about Jake is Jake's about 2 blocks from here. He's very abusive. He can also be quite the charmer. They have a whole number of children. Grace is the oldest. She's very good, very aptly named Grace. Her life ends very tragically in the film and usually leads half the students to cry. There's also an older brother named Nig. There's another brother named Boogie and a couple of younger kids, and also Uncle Bully. It all ends badly, and it's a classic film. It's beautifully filmed. It's very tragic. It's very harsh. It's very rough. What I like to do with it is this. I have the students watch the film, and then they write a paper on it where they're using Plato, or they're using Marx, or they're using Smith, or any of the other writers from 120 to try to figure out what is going on with this family. Essentially, why are they collapsing? So when Plato, for instance, talks about a luxurious city or an overheated city, what would Plato say when he looks at their life? You know, why do they do what they do? It's a great film because every character in their own way is trying to build community in a world that community is no longer a part of. For instance, even Beth and Jake, the star-crossed couple, they keep having their friends over for sing-alongs, and you get the sense that the singing is so much a part of creating community. Or they go to the local bar to hang out with their friends, and they sing there. Or Nig, the older brother, joins a gang and goes to this ritual. And it's as he's trying to create a community. And like you see with many traditional Maori societies, he gets a face tattoo, but he only has half of his face done. So it's very symbolic of the fact he's trying to live in 2 worlds. Grace, the daughter, is trying to be the good girl, trying to hold the family together. The younger son, Boogie, gets kicked out of school, and he gets sent off to a reform school, and there he gets brought into contact with traditional Maori culture and begins to identify that as part of who he is. It ends tragically, as you might expect, but also in its own way beautifully. It's an homage to family and community, and how does it exist in a violent world today. I didn't want to say much about it, I just want to essentially promote it. If anyone would like to talk to me specifically about how I use it, I can tell you specific scenes which I think are really powerful, which always work with the students. I can talk to you specifically about how I assign the paper, but I wanted to throw it out there as an idea for you to consider. So thank you very much.